Hi there. This video is about my van. Got a 2003 Dodge Grand Caravan 3.3 liter V6, and one day it just wouldn't start, and I replaced the starter, and it wasn't the starter. It turned out to be the engine control module, or the powertrain control module, so I ended up having to replace that. But before I replaced that, I wanted to be sure if that was really causing a problem or not. Maybe it was something else. So this video is a kind of quick thing about what I did to help make that determination. There's obviously other factors involved that I did not go over, but what I did was mainly check the continuity from the starter relay to the starter itself, and from the starter relay to the ECM, the engine control module, making sure that the wiring was fine, that the relay was fine, and sending the signals to and from the starter and the ECM before I took the time and money to replace it. Now the money part, around $300. The time it took me to replace the ECM once I got it in the mail, maybe 10 minutes. Not even 10 minutes. Very easy thing to do. But the time I spent to figure that out and the effort I went through was kind of crazy. And so that's why I made this video, maybe in an effort to help somebody save time, money, and effort. So I show you how I check the continuity, making sure that the signals are good to and from, and that's what this is about. And I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them in the comment section, please. And if you have anything to add or anything to take away from it, just be sure to let us know. This is supposed to be helpful to anyone who needed it.
Hi, welcome. We'll be talking about the 2003 Dodge Grand Caravan 3.3 liter V6 electronic control module, or also known as the powertrain control module, the starter relay, and the wiring going to the starter itself. Alright, so here we are. Let's take a quick look-see inside the old engine bay. We're going to be focusing mainly on the driver's side. I'm going to show you real quick where the starter is located. The top left-hand corner, you'll see that there's a wire sticking out. That is a yellow wire with a gray stripe. We'll be talking about that a little later. Alright, so let's begin the check of the wire continuity to and from the starter, the ECM, and the relay in the fuse box. I'm going to show you a picture of the fuse box now. Inside the fuse box lid, as everything's labeled, quickly locate the starter relay. Now the relay clicks when you turn the key ignition, so if it's doing that, you're good to go. If it's not clicking, you might need to replace the relay. And here we are with the fuse box. The battery negative terminal is disconnected, and the ECM at the bottom, you see that I took a bunch of wires that disconnected the top bunch, so we can begin our wire continuity test. Alright, so we're going to do the continuity test from the starter relay to the ECM. Pin 85 is located on the fuse, and pin 31 is located on the ECM. I used a simple pin light to do this test for continuity. Keep it simple. You'll see there's the ECM. I disconnected the battery terminal, and I've taken out the fuse out of the fuse box, the starter relay. There we go. Now here, clearly labeled where the pin is and where you're going to be sticking in your light pin to do the test. And here also is more detailed as far as where exactly the pins are as far as the starter relay. For pin 85 and 87, which we'll do later. This is pin 31 that we're also going to start testing on. Here's a close-up. They're labeled, so it's not too hard to find. Right, so I've got the pin light set up. I had to rig it a little bit, as you can tell, but I have one in plugged into pin 31 at the ECM, and I have the other one in pin 85 in the starter relay, where the relay goes into the fuse box. I'm getting continuity to that wire, and the relay is sending information to the ECM. Alright, so right now to test continuity of pin 87 from the starter relay in the fuse box to the yellow and gray wire on the starter itself. Make sure we're getting continuity. On to the starter. There's a picture of it from the top down. You will locate the yellow with gray strap wire as attached to the starter. You're going to disconnect that and stick one end of the pin light tester into it, and to the other end, pin 87 on the starter relay and the fuse box. And that thing lights up, then you know that the wiring fine and you're getting continuity and that the relay is sending a signal. And of course here's a diagram of detailing what we're doing, checking that wire. And I'm also going to show you another picture of identifying where the pins are. Be sure that you're checking the right ones. Here I'm taking a moment to tell you where the screws are for the electronic control module and where the headlight screws are. That's important because, well, I took the battery out and the battery holder and some other things thinking that I can get to the screw, the third screw for the ECM. That way, no. You gotta take the headlight out and that's where you get to the third screw to take out your ECM. Now here's a look at the original engine control module, powertrain control module. Nice aluminum casing that's not so nice anymore. Anyway, that's what I had to replace. And this whole thing that I went through helped me determine that's what I needed to do.
Well, there you go. So that's what I did to help me determine if I really needed to replace the engine control module, or the ECM. Being that I got continuity from the starter relay to the starter and continuity from the starter relay to the ECM, that was apparent at that point that the wiring was fine. The relay is fine. The fuse is fine. When I turn the key in the ignition, all that stuff is fine. It was just the ECM wasn't talking back to the relay and sending the juice to the starter to make the thing start. Another thing that you can try, when everything's put together, is essentially take the yellow with the gray strap wire off the starter, which is a positive connection, and take a meter and ground the other side to the vehicle, and take the positive and plug it in and attach it to that wire and turn the ignition, and you should get a signal of 12 volts. There you go. And it should be, that's only on when you turn the ignition. Now, on the starter itself, there is another positive connection. It's a big old wire, big old positive connection wire there that's always there, is always on. And that gray striped yellow wire is only live when you turn the ignition and the relay is talking to the ECM and it's sending the signal down. So putting all that together, I quickly realized that it was the computer. So I hope it was helpful. Leave comments or suggestions, and you guys have a wonderful day.